Aloha! We are live. Let me know if you're in the virtual studios that are the comfort of your own home. Say hello if you are here live. Catching this on the replay, then feel free to also say hello, hello, hello. It has been a small while, it's been a month since we were last together. I'm not entirely sure where October went, but it just buzzed past so quick. Anyway, we are back, and this month, the theme, as we begin to edge out of autumn and into more of those winter months, it's all about releasing. What can you release? What can you let go of? What can you surrender? And therefore, on the other side of that coin is, what are you then able to restore into your day, your week, your energy levels more of, okay? Very, very strange times. I'm definitely feeling like, we're now 11 months into the year. The year's been fairly rock and roll for me. It's gone up, gone down, plateaued, hit many floors. Also had some great things happen. However, I'm definitely feeling like, it's coming to the end of the year and we're now going into a second lockdown. So we're here to really use and draw upon movement to help us, whatever it is that you want to release, to move through that, to facilitate a deeper sense of letting go by way of letting the body speak for you, as it were. So less about dealing with it with our brain and more about coming into that body and that movement. So hopefully there is something, just a little bit of something, that you have planted the seed around what you would like to, diminish in your life a little bit more. It might be a little habit, it might be a behavior, a way of being, it could be around people in your life, it could be around your family, it can be anything. And just carrying that with us through the month and moving with that, through that, and ultimately moving to release that. And therefore on the other side, bringing this sense of deep restoration back into our physical and emotional well-being. Okay, hopefully you can see me okay, I'm hoping. Let's get going. Today is Mellow Mondays. We're keeping the same format this month. Today we are moving mellowly and mild movements to really amplify that sense of release. If it's comfortable, come into a seated position. If it's not comfortable, to sit down on your bum cheeks. As ever, modify, come to a kneeling position, or indeed stack up your hips with anything that you have around you, like blankets or cushions. Okay, so wherever you are is where you're supposed to be today. If you are in a seated position, as I do, bring the other leg in front that feels a little bit non-habitual, a little bit unusual. And then we're just going to get our sense of promotion of spinal elongation, so really lengthen through the spine by bringing the hands onto the fronts of the knees and lengthening, pulling the knees gently towards you. And as you do so, stretch the chest towards me, stretch from the base of the spine to the top of the head, and have that feeling of growing tall through the spine. And I'm just going to bring a tiny bit more light into the room because I feel like we're sitting a little bit in darkness here. That's better. So once you've found that sense of elongation through your spinal column, just close the eyes. Settle down that eye energy We are on our devices, on our screens, so much more, right? Over these last months, that we actually can feel, or I can, let me know about you ladies, but this kind of sense of eye energy being zapped out of us from staring at screens and blue lights and all of that. So just let the eyes close down for a moment. Listen in, follow along to your breath pattern as it is today. Nothing too forced or hurried. Calming in breaths. Just notice around the front of your torso and around your back body, around your spine, where can you let go through this sense of stillness we're in? Where can you let go? Is it around your center? You're holding your abdomen in. You're pushing forwards into your thighs with the torso. Can you bring yourself back so you just find yourself settled a bit more on top of your bum bones? And then we'll turn the palms upwards. And we're going to start to gently move through these neck nods. So you can keep the eyes closed by all means. Almost like you're moving through slow motion. Nod the chin down. See how the back of the neck feels. And then reversing the curve of the neck, opening up the throat. Stretching a really empowering nerve called the vagus nerve by opening your throat like that. Vagus nerve is supercharged nerve that really can affect the nervous system. If you're feeling super anxious, overwhelmed, actually movements like opening the chin up and stretching the throat for a moment can make very swift, fairly drastic changes in your mood. So you can start to play with your tempo a little bit more, drawing the chin down and up. You know how I'm a fan of listening to what you need, where your energy levels are today, and following suit with your rhythms. Get a little soundtrack going on. Thank you, Anna. And over the course of the next month, I am going to keep reminding you about the importance of a movement practice, however little it is on the days that we're not together, or if the days you can't make it live. The importance of coming and doing these movement practices and getting that consistent, persistent movement practice in, because first and foremost, that support for your mood, for your emotional well-being comes firsthand in my experience over the years of practicing different styles of movement and teaching and observing thousands of people, how they feel from the beginning to the end. And any sane person tells you, right, how monumental movement is for supporting one's emotional well-being. So we're going to start to move in your circles now, neck circles. again, follow the rhythm that makes sense for you today. I will admit, my practice since we've last been together has been a little bit discombobulated because my schedule has gone through so much change over this year. And I've just been really finding my feet with it all, like we all have, yeah? And it's okay. It's okay to, go through those months where you do less. The important thing is to find something that moves you and helps to shift your mood when is needed. So let's take this last one round, change your direction. Simple neck circling. Doesn't it feel good? Give yourself present of mobilizing your neck joints. Okay, your last time round. Now leave the chin in and then just move through some neck swings. Grazing across the collarbones from one shoulder to the other with your chin. The neck is heavy as a bowling ball, thereabouts. How much can you release your crown, the top of your head, down? All right, last one, each direction. Letting the chin come up. Realigning the neck on top of the spine. Shoulder rose. Play with your pace, what feels good. And I'm going to suggest a bit of torso reaching as you roll those shoulders back. Reach your torso forwards of your thighs. And then recalibrate head, shoulders, hips in one line as you bring yourself back to center. And again, reach the torso forwards of the thighs. And keep that eye energy conserved as much as you can. Let the eyes dim down. How's this going? Let's do one more, reaching forwards. Everything we're doing is balm for your joints. These little mobilizations, neck circles, shoulder circles. You're going to reverse your circles, go the other way. If you like that sort of reaching of your torso forwards, go with that. Keeping these shoulder circles, I am fairly small, but you can put a little bit more welly behind yours if you prefer. Give your body this session that experience of total release. Releasing the mind as well. Letting your day go, letting what happened yesterday, last week, the month before, let it go. Okay. Here we go. Getting into the juicy stuff. Let's go to, you can still be kneeling if you're kneeling. We're going to go to seated cat. I'm going to ask you to kind of use your hands to push the energy around your legs, because our legs are in stillness, but to kind of get a bit of blood flow going, just let your hands sweep from the hips to the shins. I'm going to link that sense of movement for the blood circulation, for your circulatory system with our cats. So you can start to move into those two curves of your spine. A bit slower. Inhale, hands to the shins. Exhale, round back. Hands run along the sides of the thighs, into the hips. Inhale, arch. Exhale, round back. Inhale, arch. Exhale, round back. Inhale. So building up of things like lactic acid in the body, you know, if you do something really fired up, like a crazy run or a HIIT practice, and you don't massage things out, like through foam rollers would be the easiest way for most people, but by way of just sweeping the hands, you know, fairly firmly along the legs, just beginning to actually generate that sense of blood flow to swim healthily around that lower half of your body. Important in winter as well to keep things warm on the inside, right, as it gets colder outside. Now, by all means, if you're not liking the leg action, the feeling of your legs, just go into your classic cat. And in fact, we can do that all together now. Just bringing the hands to rest on the knees. Inhale, arch. Exhale, round. Nothing too harangued or forced. I've been thinking a lot about the why behind the importance of motioning the spine, and been talking a fair bit with people on my socials and one-to-ones about the spine basically being that highway from the hips to the head. And it's almost like if the spine isn't getting that lubrication of movement through it in the way that we do in Free Your Spine, it's as though you've got a traffic jam going on in your body, which is going to halt, you know, various other systems of our body to not necessarily be working at optimum functioning. Now, the obvious one that I like to talk about is your cognitive and your mind space, because that spine runs like the highway, N25, all the way from your hips to your head, finishes up right in the back of the skull, the top of the spine. yeah, if you're jammed up through not moving, let's say, and being in sedentary, rigid positions for most of your day, that clearance of energy, that traffic jam, it's the difference between having all the cars racked up on the M25 and not going anywhere, and then the difference between having smooth sailing M25 where there's no traffic. You're able to get to where you get to, and with a lot of more of a clearer mind. So by way of moving the cerebral spinal fluid, motioning, mobilizing the spinal column, you're only doing grand favors for your cognitive functioning of your mind. Less fogginess, more concentration, more calmness, more clarity. So we're going to now go into off-center cats. Have to remember the why we do what we do, otherwise it becomes all a bit too much of another thing to do. And there's so much to do these days, right? Everyone's got these to-do lists as long as their right leg. So you're moving off-center, you're arching and flexing. And we've got special months together because we're here 3 times a week for 45 minutes. We are literally giving the finest movement medicine for your body, for your back, for your well-being, overall well-being, mind, body, spirit, soul. But I say something is better than nothing. So if you can't make all the 3 sessions for 45 minutes, try and get a little something in every day. Last one. Change. Using your breath to inhale to your arch, exhale to round. Last one. Come back through center. Let's go to our dives. Yes. Change the crossing of the legs. If you're kneeling, just come out of that position, have a little wiggle, just so you don't get needly through any of your joints. Okay, into the dive. So we round off the pelvis. Take yourself for a dive down. Reach the collarbones forwards, arch your way up. Find that smooth sailing way for your body. Round, dive, arch, up. Round, dive, arch. Just settle the focus on what you want to release as you dive, and then coming up with that renewed sense of purpose. I'll tell you what I want to release right now is using tech before I go to bed. So no more watching of Netflix directly before I go to sleep. No more sleeping with my phone and or computer in my room. And we'll see how that goes. Because I'm feeling quite weary in my eyes. I can notice that eye energy being sucked up too much from the usage of looking at computers and phone screens. So let's do last one. Release. Dive down. Arch up. And then I want you to go on that diagonal line. You can bring one hand to the knee, the other hand to the hip. Round back. Arch up. Round down. Arch up. Might notice different back muscles talking to you. along that one side of your back. Smooth sailing. So exhale to round. Inhale to arch. Ooh. Last one. Take it over to the other side. Kind of using the other hand to gently push into the ground to help that roundedness out, that diving into space. Couple more. Coming back through center, just change the crossings of the legs. Spinal circles. My favorite. Release, ladies, release, let it go. We do these quite a bit. And explore your circles in range and in pace. This can be the ultimate self-love movement. Keep exploring. Change your direction. Let your centers go, especially as you reach forwards. Let your belly hang free, let it hang out. Oh, don't these feel so good? Like 10 out of 10. Couple more. Okay. Into little spinal seaweed interlude. Creep your hands forwards. Release the weight down of your head. Now please let yourself go. Side to side with that spine. Wrinkle your way through space. See how we're just flowing through our mellow practice today. How much more can you mellow out with your spinal seaweed sways? You can keep it up on your hands, or if your body is okay, lower it down onto your forearm. You may find a little less movement there on the forearms, a bit more restriction. Just take it back up to the hands. I think I prefer it on the hands. Play with the angles. Take it over to one knee Wrinkle your way through there. Release, release, release. You hold so much, so much. Let yourself unravel. Give yourself the permission this month to unravel yourself from your tissues. Loosen up your nervous systems. Take it over to the other side. Seaweed sway out here. Go inwards. Good. Stay with it. Alrighty, let's come back up. I think it's time to come out of this cross-legged or kneeling position. Stretch your legs forwards. Bring your hands next to your hips. Just a little walk out with the legs, like you're cleaning the floor with your heels. Stretch one leg away, then bring one leg towards you. Let your back be a little soft through the roundness of it. And what I'm doing here is I'm just kind of letting the response of the walk through the hips, through the legs, come up a bit more into your hips, waist and shoulders. A little vogue action here with the shoulders reaching forward and then the other follows. Into moving spinal stretch. We're going to do it with the brushing of the legs. Brushing is a really, really amazing practice. Again, for the reasons I mentioned when we did it from cross-legged. In terms of building up that flow of blood around your lower half of your body. Often we get cramp, we get pins and needles, these kinds of things. Not always just because we're deficient nutritionally in maybe zinc or potassium, but also because our circulatory system isn't, kicked on as much as it would like to be. So we're going to brush the hands along the fronts of the legs all the way to your ankles, shins, ankles or feet. As you brush, you're going to round into your spine. And then you're going to roll, you're going to bring the hands up to the hips and come on up to that tall position of your spine. Over you go. Up you go. The toes can gently point down. Exhale. Oh, inhale. You will feel a stretch along the fronts of the ankles, feet and backs of your legs somewhat, or a little bit, a lot. Oh, I know I do along the backs of my legs. Keep brushing along the fronts of your legs, all the way to the shins, ankles and all your feet. You're rolling up. Release. And I'd like you to, I know in like Pilates when we do the spinal stretch, it's a sense of uplift of your abdomen scooping to your spine. But in this case, can we let the abdomen go? Oh, controversial. Let your belly hang free. Hang loose. Roll up. Because we're not here to kind of work out our core in that way. Round out. We're here to mobilize our spine, free up the tensions of the back, the hips. But in a bit more of this case, you're opening the backs of the legs. We also get that hamstring stretch happening in this case. Just 3 more. Keep brushing the hands along the legs. Exhale, over you go. Just 1 more. Round it out. Okay. Good stuff. Let's move into some seated hip rolls. Bring your feet into a generous wide stance at double the width of your hips. Bring your hands a little wider than your shoulders. Into our seated hip rolls. Before we do our seated hip rolls, we do that little booty massage. Roll out from one hip to the other. Who's there? Someone's chimed in. Hello, hello, hello. Hi Dee. Don't worry. This is going to be saved and stored in the Mellow Mondays section, so you can go back and do it from the beginning. Just getting into a little bit of hip rolling. But starting with that bit of massage across your glutes, which I think feels fantastic. A lot more of that self-massage to come on our Friday Free Your Spine floor massage practice. Okay, let's take it into a fuller hip roll. Doesn't matter which way you want to go, just let the knees roll out, thighs drop, and then we're going to pick up the back hand and you're going to swizz around, so you've got some more rotation happening. And then we're going to center up, same thing, off we go to the other side, back hand. Rotate around, looking over that back shoulder. The thighs drop down to where they drop down, they may be higher up in space. Rotate. As I harp on a lot about, this twisting, this rotation is something that all of us need to do more in our day-to-day movements, because we are very eccentric with wanting to move our bodies in that typical linear, forward-facing, front-talking, seated, zooming positions. But what about this coiling of your spine? Gentle coiling, round you go, taking your movements three-dimensionally through the body, which we are. Three-dimensional beings, not one-dimensional. Stretching out the front of the thigh and hip, spinal rotation. Do a couple more. I just think this stuff feels like the best stuff to do for your body ever. And then go take your run or go for your power walk, do your hip class, because we all like that kind of upbeat, really active stuff too. But you know, prep and prime your body. Okay. So next thing, we're going to come into this little squiggle position of the body. You're going to shift the body weight up, more on top of your center, so you're not leaning into that back hand. And you're just going to take the rotation. So back hand from the front leg, opposites. You're going to twist over your center. And then you're going to come back through to me, to the center, and look over that other shoulder. Rotate. Come back. If it's uncomfortable to be in this position for the back hip, sometimes it is for people, just stretch your leg and let the bum cheek do what it wants. If it wants to come up, let it come up. And then as you rotate round, that bum cheek can come down a bit more. As you rotate round, your thigh will spiral in, this back thigh, whether the leg is long or bent. And then as you rotate round, your thigh will go out a bit more in the opposite direction. You can lift this back knee up as well if the leg is bent. Traveling through that rotation one more time. Good, okay, and then just swoosh the legs over to the other side, exactly the same thing. So either the little S shape or stretch this back leg, whatever works for your hips, your back, and then rotate round. You can close the eyes with this too, but we want to connect the eyes to our spine. So even if the eyes are closed, have a sense that eyes want to look further over than the spine is moving. Because where your eyes go, the spine follows intuitively. That's why if we're one of these people that drops the focus all the way down to the floor when we're walking, more than likely one's back is going to be more towards a hunchy roundedness, kyphotic type of spine than it's going to be that uplifted back. If your spine was, if your focus was more, you know, straight ahead out on the horizon as it were. Coiling round your center, working through the digestive system. Couple more. Good, last one. Come back through center. Come off that one bum cheek. Come to take a sit. We're going to finish up with the hugs. Nice way to conclude. So arms are going to reach wide. As the arms reach wide, lift up the breastbone, up, up, up. Like you want to arch your upper spine and then give yourself a good old human hug. Drop the weight of the head down. Breathe in. And again, reach the arms out to the side, lift the chest up, stretch the fingers away from your collarbones. This time bring the other arm on top. Drop the focus down. And I'm sure my hips feel more open now in the seated position than when they did before from those hip rolls. Lift the chest up, arms wide, round in. Bring the other arm on top. Last one, we're going to finish in the hug. Lift the chest up. Round in. Keep your hug. Level the neck back on top of the spine. A few circles, rib circles, I guess. Can let the weight of the head go a bit here. Opening up. Didn't do loads of focus on the ribs today, but this is a nice way to motion the back of the rib cage especially. Open the back of your ribs. Hope you're doing well, Dee. Last time round. And then change that direction. In fact, bring the other arm on top. Go again. As I said a little earlier on, a little and often habit of moving and movement is gonna support you leaps and bounds, mind and body, rather than, you know, no, don't get all pressurized now that we're here together for a month, that, you know, you have to do all the 3 sessions live, or you have to make sure you do them all at one point. They're here for you to do, they're in the group, but I will say try and do something every day, even if it's 10 minutes of the live session, get the 10 minutes in. Okay, because it's just not viable anymore for us to do, you know, these hour classes, right? We're all so pressed for energy and our time to a certain extent. Last one. And then you're going to reach the arms up into a V, I call this. And then poke the chest up, arch your spine. Reach the fingers up, the shoulders can lift to the ears. Take a lovely inhale. Keep that sense of uplift through your chest. Exhale, bring the hands down onto the knees. Let's do that one more time. Create a V with the arms. Reach, reach, reach. Long arms. Long fingers. Lift the chest. Inhale. Keep that sense of reach through the spinal column. Exhale, down you come. Take a dive down, nod the chin to the chest. Flex the spine over the hips. Take 2 full breaths into your back, relaxing the weight of the head, giving the heels of your hands down into the mat or ground. One more big breath in. Rolling the spine back up. And let's just finish the practice. Reach the arms up, wide and up. Center the hands down along the midline. Do that again, and this time there is something that you've thought about that you do want to release in your life right now. Just reflect on what that is, and as you reflect on that and you bring the other hand on top of the other hand, push down, just whisper to yourself, release, release. Okay, that's our first Mellow Monday practice done and complete. So carry forwards with you whatever you took from this session, hopefully all good. See how long you can carry that forwards with you into your day, into Tuesday, before I see you again on Wednesday. This month is all about restoration and release, releasing that which is no longer useful, compatible, helpful, supportive for our physical and emotional well-being. And really, before we get into the last and final month of this year, hopefully I can leave you guys with this oozing of restoration, feeling restored in the mind, in the body, by way of these movement practices that we go through together. So I'm excited to be here again. I'm excited to take you through this next month. I'm excited to really amplifying how you feel in your back, in your hips, and also, you know, I talk about this a lot as well, what's going on. psychologically helping to bring a bit more calm and serenity in. And never has there been a time in our existence right now where we all need that because of current challenges that we're facing as a human existence. So let's continue the good work. Wednesdays, let me know how this was for you. I hope it was great. Go back and do it from the beginning if you have time. And I shall see you Wednesday, okay? Take care. Have a good rest of your day.